shaping one reality. Not separate, but synchronized. This is how trust is formed. Moving through the night, each one carrying coded light. Different paths but same design, aligned within a single line. One observes, one verifies, one confirms what truth defines. Not alone but side by side in a system open and wide. Not control from a single hand, but harmony built to withstand. Every stream knows its role, every signal plays a part in the whole. In the PYRAX chain we build as one. Three streams merging yet never undone. Utility flows where systems connect. A future of trust we all protect. In the PYRAX chain where systems align. Three streams moving through one design. Every block in perfect form. A network steady, calm and warm. No single point that holds the key, but distributed certainty. Each stream runs its own way, yet all converge without delay. Balance written into code, a shared and evenly weighted load. Every piece in perfect sync, stronger than it first might seem. Three paths turn into one, three voices never undone. Every layer, every thread, connected where trust is spread. In the PYRAX chain we build as one. Three streams merging yet never undone. Utility flows where system connect. A future of trust we all protect. In the PYRAX chain where systems align. Three streams forming a single line. Every block, every sign, built to last through all of time. One stream sees, one stream proves, one stream locks the truth that moves. Together they rise, together they stay. No single point can take that away.
In the group.
In the PYRAX chain we are as one. Three streams rising till work is done. Utility flows. Boot sequence initiated. Node online.
Say something, Sean. Check.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are live for the first time. Thanks everybody for coming out today. We know it's a little bit late around the world, so next time we'll find a little bit more amicable time for everyone. So we're going to start things off with some quick team introductions here between myself, Gabe, and Techie. And then we're going to move into a little bit about how this whole project was founded. And then we're going to get into taking some of your questions. So I will kick off the intros, and then we can do Gabe followed by Techie. So my name is Sean Wilson. I'm one of the founders, the current CEO, and the lead developer of the PYRAX blockchain. This chain, as most people here would probably know if you're in our Telegram or on our socials, is a rather unique project. We are a tri-stream project, and it's taken quite a lot to come up with this architecture and get it to a functional state. I am 42 years old because that seems to be the question I'm asked the most. I live in in southwestern Canada, in the province of British Columbia. For security reasons, I'm not going to divulge the exact location, but it's a wonderful place to live. I have an extensive tech background, industrial automation, code development. I've written several AI programs for various security camera manufacturers right around the world. And that's why PYRAX is very heavily focused on AI. Gabe, if you want to do a quick intro.
Sure. Gabriel Masholi here. I am the resident genius. I feed all kinds of wild ideas to Sean, and he tells me if they're any good or not. Other than that, I kind of just try to keep the project moving along as quickly and as efficiently as possible while Sean's busy being a code monkey.
All right, well, I'm Techie. I'm the youngest one here. I also have extensive tech background. I'm also in IT, and yeah, basically we come up with ideas, and Sean build it up for us. His our code monkeys, I guess is what Gabe want to call it, but yeah.
All right. So, Gabe, do you want to talk about kind of the origin of where we all came to meet, how we kind of kickstarted this project?
Yeah, so interesting little background. So I don't really have an extensive coding background. I tried my hand first. Me and Techie thought we would try coding or our hand at coding at the project that shall not be named, the build-a-thon for that project. We had a really good idea that we tried to put together here, and we were at the finish line, but we just couldn't get it finished. And I knew that Sean had finished his entry, so I called Sean and asked if he would help us, and he loved the idea and decided to come on board to help us. After working on the project for quite some time, we quickly realized that the project or the network that we were involved in wasn't all that they said it was. We were having trouble with it, and so we decided to jump ship. It was a couple of days after that decision that Sean called me one early morning, very early morning, and he said, hey, why don't we start our own? I hadn't had my coffee yet. I didn't know what he was talking about, but come to find out, he wanted to start our own blockchain so that we could get our DApps going. And that's literally how PYRAX was born.
Yeah, and it's been a heck of a ride to start from essentially fumbling through another project to needing to take the project that I was working with Gabe and Techie on and try and find a blockchain that would run it affordably in a development phase. I just kind of had the idea and said, let's just make our own. And it started off as a relatively basic blockchain idea, and very quickly spiraled into what it is today. So that's a little bit about us. I think most of you people that are watching today, you want some answers. You've got some questions, and boy, did you send us a bunch. So the format today is going to be a little bit different than most other AMAs that crypto communities and blockchain communities are used to. Usually it's just a chat free-for-all, and we are going to entertain chat questions. However, if you're part of our Telegram or any of our social channels, you would have seen that we were asking people to submit some questions ahead of time, and that was just to help us get a little bit of a foundation for today's AMA. So we've pulled the top 24 questions that were submitted. We're trying to keep this to a maximum of 2 hours. We don't want this to go on and drag on forever. But what I will say is these are going to become a recurring event, likely a weekly event. So there's going to be plenty of time to ask your questions. So of the list of 24 questions we've got these divided into a couple of categories. We're going to go through, we're going to read the question, and then we're going to kind of open up chat after we've answered that initial question for any follow-up or any further information you might want on that topic. So I'm going to start with question number 1. So the question is, can you please explain the tri-stream consensus to somebody not techie? And why is it unique? And why is it a state-of-the-art technique to handle various blockchain problems? So this one is as easy as I want to say, super easy to explain at a non-technical level. Please excuse me if I do get a little bit technical. I'm going to try to make this very clear and very plain and as painless as possible. So PYRAX is a tri-stream consensus. We have 3 different streams that are built into our layer 1. So stream A is a security, it's a security stream. It's an ASIC mining stream. And within this, within stream A, you'll be able to ASIC mine either Blake 3 or SHA 256. The reasons we've chose these algorithms is Blake 3 is a rather common ASIC miner nowadays. A lot of people have them, which means it's less for people to have to go and buy. They're probably one of the more affordable. I don't want to call anything ASIC affordable, but it's definitely lower on the purchasing scale. And SHA 256, we decided to go that way just because of Bitcoin's current mining state and how energy inefficient they are to use on Bitcoin. A lot of folks have shelved or shut down their SHA 256 mining operations just because the energy costs are too great. So on a brand new network where it's going to take a significant amount of time to really ramp that difficulty level up, it's the perfect opportunity to use existing equipment laying around, collecting dust on people's workbenches or workshops. Stream B is our the CPU and GPU mining pool. So in Stream B, you're able to mine with a GPU. We recommend a 3060 or higher. Of course, as the network difficulty grows, older model GPUs like the 3060 will eventually become a little bit less inefficient over time. So we do recommend, higher grade GPUs, but at the start and for the first little while, lower end GPUs are definitely going to work. So the algorithms in Stream B are going to be the Kapow algorithm and the RandomX algorithm for CPU mining. CPU mining, we put that in there because Stream B also acts as another purpose, and I'll get into that here shortly. But CPU mining, for those that aren't super tech savvy, I will say it can be hard on your CPU. So if you plan on mining this with your everyday computer, you might want to consider upgrading your CPU, because I've watched people burn their machines out mining with CPU. The real reason for Stream B is this is where we're going to power our AI inferencing and machine learning network through. And we'll get into this a lot more in depth, probably in the next AMA. But Stream B is where you're going to set your machine and essentially allocate either GPU power to our inferencing network or CPU power to our machine learning and computing network. Stream C is our validation. It's our validation stream. So essentially, how this is going to work, you're going to dedicate a little bit of computing power, and you're going to require to stake PYRAX tokens, fixed amounts, to be able to validate. And then as you're completing validations, you're earning rewards, the same as a miner would earn block rewards. And we do have a question on block rewards, so just hold in the chat for now. We'll get to that, and I'll explain how all that's going to work and what we're estimating block rewards are going to be. We should have that number finalized in the next by the next AMA. So why is it unique? It's unique because it's never been done before. A tri-stream consensus has never been done. And as such, there's been a lot of snags in the development process, but they've now been worked out. And internally testing, things are coming along great on our end. We're about to open it up to the executive team and our dev team, so we can all do a little bit of a pre-test before we hit DevNet, which I'll definitely talk a little bit more about today as well. How will it handle various blockchain problems? So being a tri-stream, we're not just limited to a layer one, and that's another aspect of this project that makes us unique. Typical blockchain projects are a layer one and a token, maybe a little bit of utility. We're changing all of this. So on top of our layer one, we have an EVM sidechain, which EVM sidechain is a little bit deceiving because it makes it sound like, okay, this is where we're going to do our smart contracts and it's going to be for EVM. And to an extent, that is true. However, within that sidechain, you can now write smart contracts for EVM. You'll be able to write them in WASM or Rust, and you'll be able to write them in Cairo, which is a native ZK language. So you can write smart contracts in Cairo to anonymize everything through our network. On top of our EVM sidechain, we're also releasing a ZK rollup right out of the gate. And this is where all of the high throughput batch processing is going to take place. We are targeting on the ZK rollup a transaction per second speed of upwards, if not exceeding 500,000 transactions per second. And I know that's a huge claim. There have been others that have targeted that, and some have come close, most don't. It's our node network and our infrastructure that's really going to allow us to knock that out of the park. And I am very confident that we are going to achieve that number. So that's kind of with the high throughput, with the high transaction speed, with the ZK rollup, the EVM sidechain, and the layer one, it allows us to handle a wide array of industry, of current problems that exist in blockchain. And we can get into more of those problems later. But that's a very high level, I hope, non-technical. Gabe, Techie, what do you guys think? Do I need to drill this down a little bit more? Chat.
I think you hit the nail on the head, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Chad, I'm going to open it up to you here for the next, 30 to 60 seconds. Do you guys have anything you really want me to clarify on the tri-stream consensus, the EVM sidechain, or the ZK rollup? If you do, just throw it in the chat here. And if not, if I don't see any movement, we'll move on. Okay, so I don't see anything else coming up in questions, so I'm going to assume that that was a thorough answer. If you guys do have questions about this, though, go ahead, leave a comment either on Kick or on YouTube. We would almost prefer YouTube. It's easier for us to interact with you after the fact. But if you do have questions, feel free, drop them in the comments, and we'll do our best to answer as many as we can. If they're really good, we might actually snag them for the next AMA. So question 2 is the following. Are there plans for a hackathon? If yes, are there any details available that can be shared regarding price pool or other details? So yes. Yes is the short answer. It's the best answer, and it's the answer every developer wants to hear that's watching this right now. We are planning a hackathon. We are planning a build-a-thon. We are adopting a model where our hackathons and build-a-thons will be 100% remote. We're not going to be doing large group events like a traditional hackathon would. We may do one down the road after launch. We'll see. That's yet to be determined. But we really like the idea of the remote work, and teams, much like every other hackathon and build-a-thon, are more than welcome. So yes, that's the short answer to that question. We will be doing a hackathon, we will be doing a build-a-thon, and we can't wait. Regarding price pool pricing, we do not have those details worked out. I will say I am in talks with several hardware manufacturers, partners, if you want to call them that, vendors, to look for not only physical prizes, also monetary prizes. We will be putting sums of PYRAX up as part of the prize pool. And I will say, I'm Gabe Techie, sorry, I'm going to leak this now because we talked about it about a week ago and we were all kind of excited. So one of the things we are looking at doing as a prize pool, should you win in one of the categories, we are looking at providing you with a discounted platform fee for gas fees. So if you do win, there's a good chance that you'll get a reduction in gas fees on your platform for X period of time, whether it be a year, 2 years. We haven't hammered out all of the details, but we did talk about it in one of our recent meetings, and everybody was really excited about that type of a prize. So that's definitely something that will be included. PYRAX will be included, perhaps some USDT, and whatever we can source for pricing once we get closer to the event. So this is something that we're going to keep you up to date with. I will say, any of the ambassadors that are watching this, in the comments below, drop your socials. Let everybody know who you are. These are the folks that moving forward, you guys are going to want to pay attention to if you're in the development world. We have a massive ambassador community that is headed up by Umar and Lisa, and these guys, they're doing a fantastic job. So they're the ones that are going to be sharing a lot of the information on the network, development documentation, maybe some tips and tricks as time goes on. So definitely pay attention to our ambassador program. Question number 3, actually, before I do this, I'll open it back up to chat. If you guys have any questions, just throw them in the chat. Let's see if there's any interest there, and if not, we'll move on. No? Okay. All right. So question number 3. Can we provide the project team organizational chart? So yes, we can provide it. And to be honest, it's already been provided. You can find that at pyrax.org. Under the community tab on the website, we have our teams page. That is our entire org chart, from the top to the bottom, everybody that is involved in this project, fully doxed, their socials, email, names, little write-ups about them. Please check it out. If you haven't been to our website, the address is pyrax.org. I implore you to go. All of our socials are listed there. We have an entire section dedicated to industries that we can help, that can be developed for on our platform. It's a wealth of information. It will be updated, I would say, within the next 3 to 5 days, with new information about DevNet. We'll start to post some of our new developer documentation, start giving you guys a small taste of what's to come. So question number 4. could you confirm that any pre-sale or token sale will only take place after a fully functional DevNet, the testnet phase, and completed external security audits? And what is the most realistic timeline you currently see for these milestones and the eventual token generation event? Yes. I can wholeheartedly confirm that we will not be running any form of token sale, which, just so everybody knows moving forward, we are calling our Genesis event. I have said this from day one that we would not take $1 towards token sales, Genesis event, the dirty word pre-sale, until our tech is live and in the hands of our community. And I will keep that word 100%. That's not something we are willing to waver from. It's what we've built our project on. It's what we've built our reputation on to this point. And there is no reason for us to rush that ahead or try to capitalize on anything else. As for the security audits, external security audits, so this is where we face a bit of a unique challenge. Traditional crypto projects, they run their pre-sales, they collect their funds, they use those funds to fund things like external security audits. They use that to fund development. We're lucky, we have the developers. And so what we don't have is the money aspect at this time. So we may go into a Genesis event without external security audits. However, that is the first thing that is earmarked upon fundraising. So keep this answer in mind because there's much more to it. And I'm not going to dive into it in this question because there's a question that specifically asks about this. So we'll get into that a little bit later on in the show here. As for everything else, this has been funded through, up to this point, myself, Gabe, Techie, and several community members who have made donations to the Genesis Block program. I'm not going to use this as a sales pitch. That was never what this program was intended for. However, if you do want to show the project early support, on our website under the community tab, there is Genesis Block. There's the Genesis Block program there. What that program is, you can make an early contribution to the project, and we use that money to support operational costs. We use that money to is not develop with or pay salaries with. It's 100% to purely support the project. And in return, you get some pretty cool things. Your name will be listed on the Genesis block when we do go into mainnet. So anybody that contributes there in any of the different levels, you will be essentially etched in digital stone when we launch as somebody that helped us early on. We are greatly appreciative of all the support we've seen up to this point. So I do want to touch on that. Are there any questions at this time about Genesis event, any of the Genesis block program, anything we've just talked about? If so, just drop them down in the chat. And okay, so there is one here. When do you see TGE happening? Okay, so this is a little bit complex, and I don't want to proverbially put my foot in my mouth. This is a unique project. There are development challenges. However, this is what we have planned at this point. DevNet 2.0 is imminent. We will be starting the countdown on the website today after this AMA ends. I would say about an hour afterwards, that countdown will be live. That will be a 20-day countdown. At the end of that timer, those that are in the DevNet program, they'll receive the instructions to download the DevNet nodes. fire them up on their computer, and we'll begin DevNet testing. I anticipate DevNet testing to be between 30 and 60 days. It is going to be a rapid iteration. It is going to be rapidly repaired should we find any issues. This is not something that we're going to take lightly. This is something that we need to get right so that when we do push it into testnet, we have the least amount of problems as possible. So it is going to be a rapid iteration. It's going to be rapid fire, 30 to 60 days. Upon completion of DevNet, I can see probably a 3 to 5 day window where we're in preparation for testnet to drop. Testnet will drop, and I'm anticipating we're going to run that for probably the same window, 30 to 60 days, maybe a bit longer depending. And then immediately into mainnet again, probably after about a week window from the conclusion of testnet into the release of mainnet. Testnet will remain live though. Once testnet drops, that will be our official testnet moving forward. And then mainnet will drop probably about a week after we've completed the official testnet. Now, I know everybody on the dev side of this is, but what about the buildathon? We can't do a buildathon in 60 days, and you're absolutely right. However, what we can do is start the buildathon in testnet and complete it in mainnet, and that way we're actively developing towards a mainnet release with working testnet, and then transition everything into mainnet. So do not fear. We haven't cut anything out of the buildathon. We're not saying that you have to build these apps in 60 days. It's just not realistic. So I do want to make that perfectly clear. So I would say we are looking at mainnet within 120 days from the conclusion of DevNet. So I would say probably, I don't know, Gabe, where does that put us? June, July, August. I would say potentially as soon as August or as late as September, October. That's kind of where we're at now. Excuse me. So do we have any other questions on this topic? We can call it dev support. Sorry, guys, I need to make this bigger. Okay, sorry. So, Torreno says, if I toss some funds into the Genesis block, can the team at least use some of it for the first coffee break? Some strong coffee and donuts. I'm going to say no, absolutely not, because if they're taking a break for coffee and donuts, they're not coding.
I disagree.
No, absolutely. Feel free, just shoot that over in the notes that you'd like it to go towards coffee and donuts, and I'm sure we can all afford to put a couple of pounds on. but thank you for the offer. Okay, so the next questions we have here is going to be, I believe, Gabe, you were going to be taking this one.
All right, so let's
Gabe or
see.
Techie?
When will the Genesis event start? The Genesis event, well, as Sean said, we're going into DevNet 2.0. And once we stabilize DevNet 2.0, then we run into testnet. As soon as we stabilize testnet, we will shut it down for like a day or two in preparation for mainnet and exchange launch. So same timeline Sean just hit on.
So I will make this caveat, and I should probably actually touch on this really quick before we move forward. So as everybody knows, we're entering the market as a utility commodity token, which is significantly different than a security token. And so as such, exchanges treat utility tokens a little bit differently. Most exchanges require a utility token commodity token to be in mainnet status for 90 days before they will list you on their exchange. So once we do go into mainnet and we do start our Genesis sale, you will receive your tokens immediately. There is no vesting, there's no holdbacks, there's nothing of the nature. Whatever you put into this is what you get out in tokens right away. Now, there will be a period of time where those tokens will only be able to be used on our platform. You can use them on all of our utility apps for subscriptions. You can hold them, you can stake them in the validator stream. You'll be able to use them within our platform, but they will not be tradable on an exchange until that first exchange listing goes live, which will likely be 90 days after mainnet. So I just want to make that perfectly clear to everybody watching that in case there's been miscommunication or nothing's been clear, this is a commodity utility token. It's being designed that way. And I think with the utility that we're bringing at launch, will probably be one of the first true utility tokens with native platform utility ready to go right out of the gate. So Gabe, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt, but I figured that was
Oh, it's all right. I was
important
done.
to touch.
Yeah.
Okay. So does anybody have any questions about that?
That would be 30 to 60 days.
Project would get done faster if he wasn't breaking keyboards. I agree. You know, it's something I've been working on. But as a developer, and anybody that is a developer knows there are times where breaking a keyboard is an absolute job requirement. It's better than a monitor or the actual hardware that you're running. So okay, so if there's no other questions on the Genesis event, and we do have more information on this to come a little bit later on, so I apologize if this may seem a little broken up, but we're trying to answer everyone's questions here. So we've kind of split this up, and we'll answer as we come across them. And actually, I think this is going to be the question and the answer I was just telling you was going to come later in the episode. So okay, so question number 6: when will the token price be finalized? Has a target listing price range already been established? Yes, I can tell you right now what our pre-sale will be. It will be at least 0.3 of a cent. So 0.003 is what we're looking to sell this for at Genesis. Now, something may change, and that price may go a bit lower. We're still feeling things out internally, but right now the price that we have set is 0.003 cents per PYRAX. We've evaluated a lot of other projects, a lot of other pre-sales, and this seems to be, for what we're bringing to the table, the fact that we're releasing tech at mainnet and we're not charging for anything until we've gone that route. I think that's a very fair price to start our Genesis event at. As a utility and commodity token, and I know I've answered a lot of your questions about this in Telegram, but I'm going to say it here so it's etched in stone and can be used against me moving forward. As a utility and a commodity token, we can't offer financial incentives in our Genesis event. And this is why we are saying in our Telegram that, our Genesis event price of 0.003 cents per token is going to be the same price that we launch on the first exchange. After that first exchange has launched, future exchanges that we add, the day that we go live, will essentially start at what the averages on the other exchanges are. It's very hard to do because exchanges are using their own pools. We're supplying our own pool, so it's never going to be 100% across the board. But we're going to try and and keep it as uniform as humanly possible there. So hopefully we can have a nice stable, some nice stable launches on exchanges. Does anybody have any questions about that? I don't see anything on Kick, and I'm just checking YouTube.
I see one on Kick. What exchanges are you aiming for, and how many?
So there's another question coming up that asks exactly that. So,
yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, if you can bear with us here another couple minutes, we'll get to that. Okay, so I don't see anything there. Any of our mods, I can't see YouTube right now. Are there any questions on YouTube? Okay, all I see in our chat is, okay. Okay, so MK asks, are there already exchanges fixed, as you already mentioned this 90-day period? So MK, I'm going to say that's a question coming up here in a couple of minutes. So I'm going to refrain from answering that right now, but we will get to that very, very shortly. Okay, let me pull up the next question here. Question number 7. Was this one of you guys? No, this is mine. Okay, so question number 7.
There was a question in Kick. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
So for non-developers and recovering blank investors like myself, when will we be able to invest and start staking?
Okay, so you'll be able to invest as soon as we go to our token generation event, and you will be able to start staking immediately. As soon as mainnet goes live, you will be able to stake as a validator on net. So I would anticipate for the first 90 days until we go to an exchange, our validation system is going to be second to none with everybody staking and validating. But yes, you can stake immediately on the validation stream. That's no problem. To do that, you will need to download our node app, and you'll need to run a node to do so. But it's definitely not it's not designed to be a resource intensive service to run. Gabe, is that it? Anything else that you can see there? Okay, so we're going to move on. The next question: will people in the US be able to buy using their cards? And I'm assuming that's credit cards. So there is no need to get USDT or else first. So maybe. The challenge is, as soon as we do this, it essentially becomes a fiat on-ramp, and there's a whole different world of regulation with card processors to achieve this. I will say this, the affordable answer would be likely not. We do plan to accept pretty much all major cryptocurrencies. Now, I am going to be reaching out to some of the processors to look deeper into a timeline, what this may cost us. Typically, there's higher fees to do this, a little bit higher than a credit card fee. And we, as a new project, of course, bottom dollar is important to us. So how much are we going to burn just on card processing fees? How much is just going to fly out the window on that front? So I will say this, stay tuned. Once I have more answers on this topic, I'll definitely pass it along. In the perfect world, 100%, we would love to do this. We would love to allow people to purchase with credit cards. My suspicion is maybe not, but right now it's 50-50, and I will get back to you guys as I learn more about this and look into different platforms to use. If you work for one of those platforms, feel free to drop me an email. My email's over on the Teams page on the PYRAX org. Would love to talk to you about that. Next question. I believe this one is this Gabe or Techie. This is Gabe. Question number 8, sir.
Okay, what is the money goal before main launch? That's real easy. It's 30 million soft cap, and it's going to be 50 million hard cap, which means we'll cut it off at 50 million.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, a soft cap is essentially what we need to get this fired, liquidity for exchanges, some operational runway. It puts us in a good spot. If we don't raise that 30 million, it doesn't mean this project doesn't move ahead. That number is a soft cap. It's a happy number. We're in a good position. The 50 million hard cap means we have operational runway, we have salaries, we have everything we need, including full liquidity to back our tokens in token pools on exchanges. And that is ultra important. We're not going to run this thing, and if we're at 49 million raised, we're not going to move that goalpost and kick it up to 100 million just because people still want to buy. We're going to cut it off. We're going to stop. We don't need those funds at that point. Sure, we could be greedy. We could just keep it going, collect as much as we possibly can. But from an integrity standpoint, that gets us to where we need to be. It puts us in a really good spot. It secures the future of the project. And at that point, sure, we're padding a bank account past 50 million, but I think the network and the technology will speak for itself, and exchange sales will carry on after we hit that hard cap, if we hit that hard cap. So I know that's kind of weird to hear a CEO say we don't want to take money past a certain point, but we've really run the numbers. We've worked this out, and 50 million means we're liquid for multiple exchanges, multiple top tier exchanges. That gets us listed. It puts us in a good spot and allows us to pay our people. Which I do want to say thank you really quickly to everybody working behind the scenes, all of our current developers, our ambassadors, our entire executive team. Nobody here up to this point has collected $1 out of this project. Everybody here is volunteering their time, and I can say without a shadow of a doubt, everybody working behind the scenes is essentially putting as much time as they would into their full-time jobs into us. So thank you to all of you. I just want to take this time to say thank you, and believe me, if we can take this off, things are going to get better. Things are going to get better.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Okay, question number 9 is going to be my question. So question number 9 is, the ASIC mining stream has 2 algorithm options. For example, SHA-256 and Blake 3. And this is referencing stream A. So I'm going to talk about both mining streams when I answer this question. Will the difficulty for the network and thereby the mining rewards for this mining stream be set based on the total hash rate of the individual algorithm hash rate, or of these 2 algorithms, or will it be combined? So in the ASIC stream, they're going to be independent. There will be a total network hash rate, which is the collective of both of the mining streams. But then when you're mining solely against miners of your own kind. So Blake 3 will mine Blake 3, SHA-256 will mine SHA-256, and same in the GPU side. Kapow versus Kapow, RandomX versus RandomX. And this is because we don't want one algorithm to really run the show. If you're contributing power to our network, we want you to have the best opportunity as possible to be finding blocks and mining blocks. I will say for those where the other project was your first project and mining project, mining on our network is more traditional. So you're only paid a block reward if you're solo mining and you find a full block, or if you're in a mining pool with others, that mining pool wins that reward and then it's split across that mining pool, likely based on hashing power. So I guess you can look at each stream as kind of a divided highway, in where Blake 3 has its own lane, SHA has its own lane, and same in the CPU and GPU pool. And then at the end of the day, all of that hashing power is used collectively to help secure the network. So I hope that answered that question. Are there any other questions on this topic? And I'm sure there's going to be. So I'm just going to minimize my questions list here, and I'm going to go and ask here. So I don't see anything in Kick. Do you guys see anything on YouTube? No? Okay. Again, if you have further questions, if you weren't able to watch this now and you're watching the recorded version of this after the fact, if you do have a question, drop a comment below. We'll do our very best to get back to you. We will be reading these. We will be going through these, and if they're really good, we'll probably save them and use them in the next AMA. So, okay. So let's move on to the next. Question 10 is also mine. So question 10 here is, will there be some sort of multiplication available by participating in all parts of the project, i.e. mining, running a node, investment, staking, and validating? If you contribute in all of this, you'll get a multiplication of maybe 50 or 10% or whatever amount as a contributor. This could be viewed as incentive and lead to a more active community, some sort of a tier system or a booster. So we touched on this when we were looking at these questions the other night. And what I'm going to say right now is, no, we don't have anything planned. However, this is definitely something that I am going to bring up at our Monday morning executive team meetings. And I definitely think there's a lot of room for discussion, potentially on something. I'm not going to speculate on how much at this point, but there's definitely an opportunity to talk about doing something like this, and perhaps coming up with some sort of program. What it's going to look like, I don't know, but what I will commit is we'll have this discussion Monday morning. We'll maybe create a little bit of a focus group on this, and maybe reach out to the community and see what kind of options or what you guys are thinking of, and then we can try and plan something out, because I do like it. At first I was a little bit leery, and I think Gabe and Taki can confirm that. I think my initial reaction was, do we really want to be giving money up? But the more I think about it, the more it's actually kind of growing on me, and I like that idea. So give us a week or two to kind of game something out, and we'll definitely get back to the community about that.
Yeah, we'll discuss more about it.
Yeah. Okay, question 11 is also me. So the next question is, will there be any sort of incentive to run nodes and mining during testnet in order to offset running electricity cost? Also, are the incentives finalized? Yes and no is the easy answer there. Yes, there will be incentives. No, it's not finalized. What I can say at this time is, in testnet, mining rewards will be a percentage that you earn and will carry over into mainnet, and that percentage will increase as the difficulty increases and as electrical costs increase. So when we first launched testnet, and the network difficulty is super low, people are going to be hitting blocks left, right, and center. So I mean, of course, that's a little bit unreasonable to be paying out full block rewards. So we are going to scale those back, but there will be incentives. They will be worthwhile. And I will say right now I'm trying to calculate kind of global electricity averages, so that we can come up with a number that's fair for everybody, to make sure that yes, we are giving you tokens that will offset use of electricity, and make contributing to testnet worthwhile. Because let's be honest, people aren't here to volunteer and just pay to help the project, right? Everybody wants to make a dollar here, and we want everyone to make some money, especially during testnet. That's the only way we're going to grab adoption and scale testnet to where we need to be to ensure that mainnet is where we want it to be. So yes, there will be. Again, I would say I'm not going to commit to the next AMA, probably the one following, but as soon as we have these numbers, we'll announce them in the AMA to follow. So please feel free to hold us to task, keep asking about it. But as soon as we know more, we'll be sure to let the community know. Gabe, Techie, do you guys have anything to add to that?
Yeah, we'll do some math. Once we figure it out, we'll definitely let you guys know.
Okay. Okay. So question 12, Gabe, I believe this is you.
Yes, sir. What can we expect as a number of coins per terahash with an ASIC miner? Actually, this is a question I want to know as well. This is something we can't determine until after DevNet. DevNet is when we'll be doing all the tests on our mining lanes. And so after those tests are complete, we'll have a better answer for you.
Yeah. I also want to make, I also kind of want to drop this out there. Moving forward, I am going to start doing a lot more video messages on this YouTube. I'll probably just kind of stream them both to Kick and YouTube, so the videos are there. But I'll be doing a weekly update, and I'll definitely be sure to do those a lot more frequently during DevNet, so that those that aren't involved in DevNet are being updated. It might not be super technical. Everybody inside of DevNet has had to sign an NDA, so we would ask the community to just respect that. And if you do know people in DevNet, try not to pry too hard, but we'll definitely be sharing a lot of information about the network, about the platform, as DevNet progresses. We're going to get a lot of answers out of that test cycle. So I ask for your patience. Let us get there. But I will be making much more frequent video announcements, video messages, and I think it might be fair to say we'll probably start doing this kind of on a weekly basis. So don't hold me to it right yet, but we'll have more on that this coming in the coming week. Okay, so are there any questions on that front before I get going? Gabe, Techie, anything on YouTube? No. Okay.
Nothing.
No, I don't see anything coming through there. Okay. All right. We'll move on. Whereabouts did we just leave off there? I think that was question 12?
Yeah, we're number
Yes,
13.
we're at 13 right now. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Too many screens, too many apps, too many things open. Okay, so question 13, which mining stream would be better for a techno-challenged person, CPU or GPU? With limited investment up front. Multiple streams I get, but which should I chase and why? Also, what's your favorite Fast and Furious movie, and why is it Tokyo Drift? All right, so this is going to be a two-part question. I'm guessing. So I'm going to start with part one. As somebody that might be technologically challenged, brand new into crypto, and you want to get into node operating and mining, I would strongly recommend, if you're kind of working on a budget friendly or working on a budget up front, I would probably highly recommend the GPU stream. If you can get into the stream early on, right at the inception of mainnet, something like a 3060 is going to, you're going to find blocks. Now, that being said, I would also recommend, if you're coming in with just one GPU, you're probably going to want to pool mine. So you're going to want to find a mining pool that can host your GPU, or you can add to their power, and that way you're making a share based on your contributed power, not necessarily on what you're finding. GPU mining is super simple. Plug your graphics card in, install the drivers, download the mining software, hit the start button, away you go. CPU mining, as I said earlier, I am not a huge fan of CPU mining. Yes, we include it in our network. However, people are also making money off of kind of sharing that CPU power with us, and essentially use it towards machine learning and cloud computing processes. So CPU mining, maybe not. If you have a CPU mining rig, you know what you're doing, you know how to underclock, you know how to undervolt, you know how to overclock and undervolt. That's all super important when you're both CPU and GPU mining, more so CPU mining, because it gets pretty expensive when you're always replacing CPUs because it's burned out. So if you're just getting into this, definitely GPU mining. ASIC mining, there's a little bit of software to learn, but GPU mining, slam the card in your machine, hit start, and away you go. Our node makes this process super simple. It's a graphical user interface. It's a Windows app. You download it, you install it, and I can tell you this: you hit a start button, and then you hit a start mining button. You're connected and you're good to go. That's how simple we've made this. There's no command line. There's a command line module if you want to go that route, but I have designed this so that even those who aren't the most tech savvy people, that want to get into the crypto space, that want to explore this, it's all right there at your fingertips in an easy to use interface. So that's what I will say about which line to go. GPU is where to go. For the second part of this question, what's your favorite Fast and the Furious movie, and why is it Tokyo Drift? My answer to that would be Top Gun.
Yeah, we don't watch it.
Sorry. I like fast jets. I like fast cars, but I'm definitely not. I can probably count on one finger how many Fast and Furious movies I've ever watched in my lifetime. And unfortunately, sorry to disappoint you. I hope we can overcome this difference over time. Gabe Techie, why is Tokyo Drift your favorite movie, and why?
I've never seen it either. I saw the first one for a little bit, and bits by bits.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so I believe question 14 is mine. Okay, so question 14. Now we're moving a little bit more into tokenomics here. So again, please, if you do have any questions, if I'm glossing over things, I don't mean to be, but if I am, make sure you hit that in chats or leave a comment after this is up, after it's been recorded, so that we can try and get back to you. Question 14. Are there any tokenomic mechanisms being considered to encourage long-term participation rather than short-term speculation? So it's pretty tricky, because most of the tokenomics mechanisms that a security-driven blockchain would use, we're not. We are offering vesting on the validation stream. And as far as the tokenomics mechanism at this point, it's really all I have on the roadmap. Now, that's not to say things won't change. But at this point, vesting in the validating or staking in the validating stream is probably the biggest mechanism that we have to offer. Now, I will say we are going to be working on a DEX, and there will be liquidity staking in that DEX. That's a whole other can of worms that we're not going to get into right now. We probably won't even start entertaining that until after mainnet. I am working with a third party. They're likely going to be the ones that handle building the DEX. So once I have more for you on that, I'll definitely get back to you. But right now, our primary mechanism is staking on the validation stream. So that's where we're at right now. But if that changes, we'll definitely let you know. Okay, question 15. I think that's also mine. Yes. Am I going right to 17? Hey. Okay. All right. So question 15. If we sell all 15 billion pre-sale coins during the Genesis event and allocate 25% bonus to all, are you burning the remaining 6.25 billion coins remaining from the 10 billion initiative pool? If PYRAX is selling 15 billion coins and there are 10 billion for the initiative, shouldn't the incentive be 66 to exhaust the 10 billion coins fully? So I will say this, even from the existing initiative, 10 billion was always an overshoot number. We didn't think we were going to hit the 10 billion tokens in that pool. We went with the number 10 billion to ensure that we had enough for anybody that wanted to participate. We're now rolling that 10 billion into the 15. So the short answer here is, are we going to burn them right as soon as the Genesis event is done? No. We will likely burn the first tokens as soon as we have gone through a stability period on our first exchange. Now, this is also something that could change. This is something we are going to bring up again at a meeting coming up. But as it stands right now, no, we're not going to burn right after the Genesis. Burning isn't out of the question. Gabe Techie and I, before the end of this week, we're actually going to be revisiting our tokenomics, looking at all of the numbers, looking if there's areas where we may have more than we need, if there's somewhere we can transfer some from to, just kind of do a bit of a rebalance. And, you know, there's a good chance that our overall number may come down a little bit as a result of this review. So as soon as that happens, it'll be published to the website. That's one of the reasons the website hasn't been updated yet, is we need to go through our tokenomics and just make sure that we're completely happy with everything, do a bit of a rebalance or revisit, and then we'll make that determination on burning then, or do we just scrape some out now? But we'll definitely get back to you guys on that. I would say by the next AMA, we'll definitely have this finalized. So absolutely.
Yeah, that's also question 17. Go at 16.
Yes. Yeah. So I will say I'm going to jump right into 16. And then by the time I get to 18, we're moving more on to Gabe and Techie realm. I'll do a little bit of a pause there, and we can do we can address any questions about the tokenomics section. So question 16, can you please give us more details about the testnet coins all participants are going to earn? Will they be converted fully to mainnet token, or will there be a ratio in which they're going to be reduced? The old statement in an earlier state contained a variable ratio in the alleged different testnet states, but this has been changed. So yeah, so essentially, everything's going to be based on network difficulty for earning the tokens via mining. If you're mining the tokens that you win in that block reward will be the tokens that you take with you to mainnet. That's why I was saying earlier about a little bit of a discount. So the tokens are going to start low and they're going to increase as network difficulty increases and scales. So what you earn in testnet is what you are taking with you to mainnet. And we'll have a mechanism on the website, almost a little bit of a converter. You'll be able to hook your wallet up, transfer your testnet tokens, and then it'll deposit your mainnet tokens automatically for you back into that same wallet. So absolutely we're going to try and make this as seamless as possible so that you guys don't have to sit there and crunch numbers and try and figure out at which phase you've made this many tokens. This is what you're going to end up with. I think that's the most logical thing to do here. Okay, and then will PYRAX burn any tokens after exchange listings? So like I said in the previous questions, we don't have any immediate plans to burn following an exchange listing or after Genesis, but we're certainly not ruling it out. So again, stay tuned. I guess this is a good time for me to say, hit follow, like, subscribe.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to say it. I've always wanted to say it. All right. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll see how everything plays out down the road. You know, like we had Sean answered earlier a couple of questions ago. So I mean, if a burn makes sense for the project later, you know, we'll evaluate it then. So
yeah, for sure. Okay, so we are now into question 18. So I believe Techie, this is your your question.
yeah, are there already VCs in the pipeline for supporting the project and getting funded? Or can you let us know about the progress in general regarding supportive companies? Well, we are keeping our options open, you know, but if the Genesis event goes well, we may not need it at all. You know, we are in discussions with few people, but we'll see. Like I said, we may not need it at all if the Genesis event goes well.
Yeah. So I will touch on this a little bit. I'm sure a lot of you are used to hearing this three-letter term from the other project, NDA. Most initial talks with potential investors, supportive companies, most of those are covered under NDA. Now, I will say this. Our intent is to not hide behind an NDA. When we are able to make that information public, you guys will be the first to know. We've made integrity and transparency a huge part of our platform, and that doesn't stop with these questions. The problem is when we're in extremely early talks, everything is covered with an NDA, and everything is very hush hush. You know, we don't want to let something slip that's going to jeopardize any of our current talks and negotiations. So I'll reiterate what Techie said, 100%. We are in talks with potential VCs. We are in talks with a number of companies that are definitely interested in supporting us on the AI side as well as the blockchain side. So once these things begin to materialize a lot more than they currently are, we'll definitely we'll definitely issue statements or releases, likely joint statements with the folks we're talking to to bring you guys more into the loop. But at this point, it's still so early on that it would be extremely irresponsible for us to really name drop anything. It could do more harm than good. So we have to be cognizant of that.
19, this is me. So what exchanges after our launch does the team aim to be listed on? Well, we are actively evaluating listing frameworks right now with, you know, for major globally recognized exchanges. But our main thing is, you know, we need to work with exchanges that maintain the highest standards of, you know, compliance and ethical market practices. You know, we don't want to just any exchange is just for the hell of it,
Well said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and same thing, guys. We do have several communications going with exchanges of all sizes. We've got a couple global players, we've got a couple tier one all the way down to tier three, and we're also talking with a couple of decentralized exchanges. So exactly like Techie said there, we have zero interest in working anybody that will list anything. We're screening them. We're doing our due diligence. Anybody that's just kind of said, "Hey, you know what? We'll list you. It's dirt cheap. Just send us money and we'll put you up." That's not really what we're about. I'm only interested in talking to exchanges that want to see our security audits, that want to validate and verify our tech is where it needs to be to function on a major exchange caliber. So again, as we work through these and as things become more concrete, we'll definitely release a list of names, but only when it's verifiable and provable by you guys in the community. I could sit here right now and rattle off a list of 20 exchanges and say, "Hey, we're talking with them," but it's not going to do us any good because it's not verifiable. So once it becomes verifiable, I'll be more than happy to share it with you. Okay, so we're on to question 19. So I think that's, oh, nope, sorry, we're on to 20 now. Actually, you know what? Let's just take a quick second here. If anybody has any questions about the last couple of questions, just drop them down in chat and let's just take a minute and catch up because I think we've kind of skipped by. Okay, so I see one here on Kick from Game Addictions. 3060 12 gig, not 8 would be better, correct? VRAM is just as important. So absolutely. I would recommend the 3060 Ti as definitely a great starter level for our network. I will say this, if you do go something that's lower powered and a little bit more wallet friendly, your returns with that GPU are definitely going to be harder to make on other networks. So TI model graphics cards are definitely the way to go if you want to use it for the crypto side of things. But yes, VRAM is just as important. So 3060, again, great budget friendly starter card to get into it with, but just know that if you leave the network and you go somewhere else, your returns are going to be hard to come by. You can make money pool mining, but you might just be breaking even once you factor in your electricity costs. Okay, what else do I see here? So yes, Torrento makes a good point. As with everything and many things, remember that how things are right now are definitely subject to change based on environmental factors, electrical, industry, utility factors, and as the project evolves, as our network difficulty increases, those lower powered graphics cards, lower powered CPUs, and even lower powered ASIC miners, as much as I don't want to say it, the reality is they'll be brute forced out of the network. So definitely try and capitalize on that in testnet. Definitely capitalize it early on in mainnet. And I can't guarantee what kind of returns you're going to get, but I can definitely say that it'll be a lot better than 3, 4, 5 years down the road from today. All right, Tor. I was pretty sure it was you. I wasn't 100%. So, all right. Tor just made a comment here. Tor works to save the name pronunciation. So okay. So let's move on to the next question here. I believe. 2020 is going to be Gabe.
Yes. So, right. What specific mechanism do you have to create sustained buy pressure for PYRAX once the network goes live? Native ecosystem utility. Instead of relying on social media hype to move the price, the value of the token comes from real everyday use on the network. It's basically the blood that pumps through the veins of the network to make our network run flawlessly. I'm sure Sean can add a little something to that.
Yeah, for sure. So, you know, I don't want to say that there's not true native utility out there, but we are dropping with numerous native utility apps ready to go that aren't just ultra specific to one common problem. These are utility apps that appeal to persons and industry alike. So I will say our current release schedule for utility apps is going to be as follows. Cryo. And I'm saying cryo because I know there's a question coming up that you guys really want more information on. So cryo. Cryo is our trading bot. Everything from manual trading right through to full autonomy. There's even a module in there that explains crypto trading. It's not financial advice by any stretch. It's definitely not let's go and read the cryo book on becoming a financial wizard in the crypto markets, but it's definitely a solid starting place. It's somewhere that you can go to kind of learn the basics about trading. So cryo is at this point, based on the number of DMs I get on a daily basis from right around the world, asking when it's ready to go. Cryo is turning very quickly into our crown jewel to be used as a network app. You'll be able to subscribe to it with PYRAX. You'll also be able to subscribe to it with Visa, MasterCard, Interact Debit, you know, whatever is locally acceptable through our payment processor that we use for that platform. I will also say that, again, in the Genesis Block donation program, what you guys are donating today, you're getting back in what we're calling AI credits. These AI credits can also be used on any of our platforms as a subscription mechanism. We won't be converting that to PYRAX, but you'll have the option to connect your PYRAX account, and then claim based on those AI credits. So that's just another little incentive on that front. Following cryo will likely be PYRAX. PYRAX is not really been talked about a lot. I know I've dropped hints in Telegram and on social about it, but Telegram is kind of the best of Discord, Microsoft Teams, Slack, but it's also a tabbed environment that allows you to either build your own industry applications and actually run it through PYRAX as a collaborative tool, or you'll be able to import other applications that we accept into that ecosystem. So it essentially, at the workplace, the best way to think about it is, instead of needing 6 screens or 3 screens with 40 tabs open on each, you're working in one central location. You're working kind of in one tab. You can arrange everything as a widget. You can minimize, maximize. So we're just trying to take that collaborative workspace, package it up, and put everything under one roof versus needing an entire work suite to do what you need to do. So that's PYRAX. Finally, after PYRAX, we're going to be re-releasing AuthInsure. I know everybody's that's been using it has been missing it. It is coming back. I'm doing a complete UI rework, workflow rework on it, just touching up the database, adding in some features that you guys really drove home to me that you wanted in there. So we're definitely coming back with that. Auth-Ensure probably won't be back until we're closer to certifying it SOC2 compliant, HIPAA compliant, GDPR compliant. It's one of those systems that industry is not going to take it serious until it meets those certifications and it meets those audits. So it's definitely on our list of things to do right away. It's just not right today, but we will be bringing it back in a limited capacity so that there is a digital document signing solution that we've promised, and then we'll continue to grow it from there. So we're gonna I'll touch on this and I'll take some questions for these two questions. So what's the current status of Cryo? When can we use it for beta testing? So the current status of Cryo, it is quite literally going through the exchanges that we'll be launching it on. And it's running through its machine learning cycle right now. I think last I checked, actually, if I'm checking right now, it says it's got about 6 days left on the machine learning cycle. After that 6 days, I'm going to run it through a number of internal tests on my own just to make sure that what it's learned isn't going to completely empty bank accounts, and in fact try and do the complete opposite of that and fill them. But I would say probably within the next 2 weeks, Cryo will be up and ready for open beta testing. We do have a small group of closed testers that have come forward. We're definitely going to run it with them first before I send this out into the ethos. That way it's controlled. We can run some paper testing, some dry testing with it first, make sure the UI is working on a number of different machines. And I will say this, there are 2 versions of Cryo. Version number 1 is a web-based version. Version number 2, if you have your own GPU, you can download the app, you connect to your exchange via an API, you run it through probably 8 to 12 hours of machine learning on your own system, and it will actually run independent based off of your own GPU independently. So that's a pretty cool little feature right there, all on its own. So that's where we're at with Cryo right now. I will say it's been a lot of fun to develop. For those of you that were hanging out with me in Discord, you know, a month or 2 ago when I was first kicking this off, we were seeing some pretty cool things happen with it before we really gave it the full brains. And I think once we finalize this training and we get back into some testing with it, I definitely think that this thing's going to be second to none when it comes to a crypto trading bot. So give me a little bit more time. I want to make sure the machine learning and the backbone of this thing is spot on, but it's coming, and I have no doubt it's going to be open for public testing here within about 2 weeks. So just give me some time and we'll get her there. I'll also include updates on that in any future updates that I do, whether it's in Telegram or through video here on YouTube or Kick. So that was question 20, 21. Okay, does anybody have any questions about Cryo, the utility, anything like that? Okay. So I saw a question here that was kind of, oh, sorry. Okay, Brandeline. Are we still going to be able to utilize dual GPU setups? Absolutely, 100%. The more the merrier, in my opinion. So yeah, absolutely. You'll be able to use multiple GPUs. If you have a CPU farm, you'll be able to use multiple CPUs, as well as over in the ASIC side, you'll be able to use multiple GPUs. And that multiple GPU, I think that might have been leaning a little bit more towards the AI and inference processing side in Stream B. 100%. Yeah, 100% you'll be able to utilize dual GPUs. Anybody else? I hope so. I have quad GPUs.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, predictions for sure.
Yeah, no, we're not bottlenecking anything on that front. You know, I want people that are bringing the technology to be able to run them. So okay, I have one about cryo here. Would cryo, and yes, you did spell that right, run independently on each GPU or as a combined GPU? I guess that really all depends on how your system is configured. I would say likely independently. Cryo is designed to run on a super low end GPU. You can run it on a 3060 8 gig version, and it's going to do exactly what it needs to do. If you've got a little bit more of a beast or a monster, for sure, you may see a little bit more out of it, but it's designed to work on a very low end GPU so that it can be accessible as an independent app to more people. If you don't have GPUs, that's not a problem. You can use the web-based version. They will both cost exactly the same. It's one subscription, you get both. So whichever variant or version you want to use is what you can use. Okay, let me just bring the questions back over. Okay, so question number 22 here. What is the 1 and the 3 year plan to break into the 100 businesses you list on your website, which would build utility? What happens after launch to build the brand on board, and onboard users and businesses? Okay, so first I'm going to say that with the next website update, there's going to be way more than 100. There'll actually be 200. There's a lot of industries our blockchain can support. What I do want to say is we have the ability to support apps for those industries. These are not industries that we will be developing native PYRAX apps for. I am one person. I have one dev team. And if we were to build native utility apps for each one of these industries, it's going to take us about 100 years to do it. The industry section was designed as a way to show developers and introduce them to various markets that we can support. And we are really using that. We're really using that section of the website to kind of entice developers to maybe exit their comfort zone, develop for a new industry. But it's also something that we want to show dev studios out there that do specialize in a lot of these industries, that they can build on our platform and that our network can support that industry, their apps. The problem with a lot of industry out there is there's a lot of there's a lot of what's the term I'm looking for here, guys? Why am I drawing a blank? There's a lot of detail that goes into requirements and a lot of unique requirements for these industries. And personally, there's no way that any one dev or dev studio could know or understand everything about each one of these industries. So we're really putting that out there for people to learn what PYRAX can support, but also build for our network. And we'll release a little bit more on that when the build-a-thon draws near. There will be certain industries that we are kind of putting a little bit of an emphasis on, or there may be a little bit of a different prize pool for that industry, but it was definitely put there to really kind of wet the developer's whistle and start kind of getting the cogs turning on what type of opportunity our network is bringing. Yes. Not just to industries, but to the world, right? We're greedy as a platform. We want it all. We want everybody. I will say the fact that we allow Rust on our platform, that's going to be huge for the video game world. You can literally power a real-time in-game economy from our blockchain. Healthcare, there's all sorts of opportunities there. Transport, all sorts of opportunities there. So I mean, the options are endless when it comes to industries that we support. These were just the 100 most, I guess, the 100 most popular when I was doing my research, and most of these industries have already kind of adopted blockchain. So now we're just kind of putting it out there that, hey, we're a lot more than just any other blockchain out there. We bring a lot to the table, and you start looking at us. So I hope that answered the question. If not, please feel free, leave a comment below. I'll definitely try and get back to you with something something a little bit more if I didn't hit what you were looking for there. I'm just going to check and see if there was anything else here. Okay, I don't see anything there.
Still
Do I have
47.
anything?
Nice.
Octominer, okay. Okay, I'm just sorry, guys. I just closed my my little list out here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the next question, and I think this one's mine as well. Okay, yeah, I've pretty much got the rest of them now. So question 23. With the pre-sale price expected to match the launch price and no vesting period, how does the team view the role of early supporters in the ecosystem? This is a hard one to ask because it almost feels like a trap, guys. It almost feels like a trap. Look, we would not be where we are without early supporters in the community that we have standing behind us right now. There's, I can't put that any other way. We feel moving the commodity and the utility token at this time is the right play. And yes, I will admit it definitely hamstrings us on the financial side to an extent. The differences between the security and the commodity, there's definitely some pretty heavy differences there, and we'll get into that. I think in the next AMA we're going to take a chunk and we're going to go through the big differences there. But how we view our early supporters, you know, without you guys being here supporting us, without you guys filling our Telegram, without you guys being willing to support this project when we do go to Genesis, this project doesn't live. So, I mean, really, you guys are the backbone of PYRAX. I can develop something, you know, the team can sell something. That's all fine and dandy, but, you know, I can't say that an early supporter is more important than somebody that comes later on down the line. There's definitely going to be benefits for early supporters in testnet. Oh, sorry, with the ability to come in and early mine tokens, carry those through to mainnet. I think offering the incentives program is another great way to give more back to early adopters, early supporters. And I think this is something that we're going to have to look at a little bit deeper as a team and come up with some creative solutions to show a little bit of extra support to our early supporters and community members. There's definitely, there's always a solution. It's whether or not it's legal in the current framework we're facing. So I do want to say that, as this question asks, you know, how do we feel about early supporters? I wouldn't be here without you guys as early supporters. You know, I think if our communities had 100 people in them, this project, it never would have become what it is today. It definitely wouldn't be what it's becoming tomorrow. So I do want to thank everybody that's been here from day one and has been here with us and stayed with us through some pretty hard changes that we've had to make. You're not forgotten. You know, we do appreciate and support every single one of you. So absolutely, that's what I think of the early supporters. You know, Gabe Techie.
Concur. Definitely agree with what Sean just said there. I mean, we wouldn't be here without you guys. You know, so thank you. And I'm sure we'll figure stuff out too. down the road on
Yeah.
to get back to you guys. Yeah.
Okay. So this is the last question of the day, and then I think we wanted to keep this to a 2-hour max. So that puts us about 15 minutes out. So I'm going to get through this last question, and then I think I'm just going to kind of open it up to chat. We'll try and field a couple of questions. I will say that if the question's something that's covered by a current or ongoing NDA, I'm going to say that, but know that I don't like hiding behind them. So if I do say that it's covered, know that we are going to get back to you on that. But we are going to open it up here. So I'll get through this last question, and then we'll take a few out of the chat. So the last question: are there specific mechanisms such as staking, node participation, fee sharing, burns, ecosystem incentives, or other forms of value accrual that are intended to return long hold earlies and early participants as the network grows? So again, we've already kind of touched on this, but I'll reiterate it a little bit here. As the utility and as a commodity, we're not allowed to show incentive. Okay. So really at this point, our only mechanism is validating staking, giving you guys back a little bit there, the mining. But like I've already said, Monday morning, I think we have a lot to talk about when it comes to some reward programs. How can we boost this? How can we leverage it? How can we make this more attractive for early adopters? Unfortunately, it can't be in the form of a bonus. Anything we do has to be equal across the board for everybody. But what we can offer is maybe a little something extra in mainnet participation or testnet participation. Maybe something, I might be able to do something for the testers of Cryo, the testers of PYRAX, the testers of AuthInsures when we get there. So there's a couple things that we're going to talk about here in the coming weeks. So give me some time to work with the team on this, and we'll get back to you. So with that being said, guys, that's the main meat and potatoes of today's AMA. Thank you to everybody who took the time to submit the questions, think of the questions, write the questions. Keep that coming. Allison's going to hate us, but I'm going to say, I think we're going to get ready to drop the next AMA question forum, and we're going to start getting on this. So all right, I'm going to open this up to chat now. Let's see what you got. Ask away.
Jack has a decent question. Okay.
Oh, Dennis, Jack's there.
Oh, Jack. All right. So Jack's asking, if PYRAX is successful beyond your expectations, what do you think people will be using it for 5 years from now that most of the community isn't thinking about today? Well, I'll say this. If the current geopolitical climate stays the same, 5 years, PYRAX could be the new universal currency. But no,
it could be. Yeah.
Go ahead, Techie. No, go ahead.
You never know. It's gonna be a lot of things from banking, especially with the new rules, gaming. The opportunities are endless.
Yeah. I can see the transportation world adopting blockchain really quickly. I can see. I know the financial world is already adopting, and it's come a long way. But with a unique blockchain such as ours with super high throughput, I think we can see payment processors moving more into this style of blockchain. I can see development. I can see AI. There's so much that I think blockchain is going to be used for 5 years from now. I think even over the next 2 or 3 years, we're going to see huge advancements. in AI. But if anybody from the government's watching this, stop and start signing bills that actually, encourage innovation. Most of what we're doing has
Yeah, cool.
really been dragged out because we've been waiting for regulations to be signed into law. So yeah, if you're from the government watching this, stop sitting on your hands and use that pen. Will PYRAX do NFT? 100% it will do NFT. Absolutely, it will do NFT. What I will do is I will reply to you in this chat afterwards, or if you're in Telegram, Marky 0007, I think I'm reading that right. If you're in our Telegram, drop me a DM, and I'll definitely share with you the NFT protocols that we're going to be using. Tor, has the team considered a learning platform similar to what some other projects have provided? On the website, there's a documentation page that is coming soon. Shutters it soon. Is this something that could be included there? Yes, absolutely. So the documentation page will come to life with the next website update. That section will be essentially the beginnings of the testnet API framework, but it will be a rather sizable education section that is very similar to another project. There's videos on how our chain works. It's going to be very in depth, and it's going to be done that way just because our architecture is 100% unique to this project. So we definitely do need a huge education platform. And I will be talking to Lisa. I know we do have a team that's built out a wonderful platform. We're just waiting to launch it. And there, the ambassadors are going to definitely be involved. Same as our website. So there's a lot of big changes coming, and there's a lot of education coming for the PYRAX project.
Absolutely. I mean, we're one of a kind. We are a unicorn, so we will absolutely do that for it. I want to build on PYRAX. Absolutely, give him addiction. Absolutely.
Yep. So another good one from Puddlejack. If AI-driven systems becomes a major part of the future economy, what role do you believe PYRAX's infrastructure should play in that world? Well, look, our infrastructure, our big slogan, or I guess a bit of our tagline right now is, decentralizing AI. Right now, everything runs through monster data centers. And, I believe the last statistic that I looked up when we first started this project was there's over, I think it was 70 million GPUs that sit idle 93% of the day in homes all around the world. Writing the PYRAX network and our node network and our AI network, it definitely allows us to use existing hardware versus creating these monstrosities of data centers that are just continuously sucking water and burning energy.
People are not responding well to it at all.
Yeah. So I think for now, that's really where we're going to come into play is, we're not building something physical to build our platform. We're using existing infrastructure in people's living rooms and bedrooms when they're not using it to really transform the AI data center. So I think if we can really stay focused on that, all of a sudden we do become a pretty energy efficient operation. And we'll see where it goes. But I definitely think that's where we're going to be within the AI industry. Is we're going to be that, I don't want to say second chance, but we're going to be that kind of off the beaten path solution for AI inference and machine learning. And you can know that when you're on our network, we're not draining lakes to cool a data center. So game addictions. I want to build on PYRAX. Drop me a message. Drop me a message as soon as the new website comes live. We'll get you building. We'll get you building for sure. For sure. Tor, could it be an incorporated platform whereby learning platform could be integrated into the dev platform or a sandbox type thing where people could actively learn and develop at the same time? So 100%. I will say this, that type of integrated platform, there's a lot of meat to those bones. But yes, that's definitely a solid idea. It's definitely something we've already been looking into. I would love an interactive dev stool. I've actually been looking at modeling something similar to Team Treehouse, which is a huge online code academy. So I definitely think that that there's going to be room for that. This is also something that Monday morning I'll be sure to bring that up with Lisa. I'll be sure to bring that up with the rest of the team, and we can start to kind of maybe focus group out some ideas there. Anybody else? Anybody else? No? All right, guys. Well then, Gabe, Techie, unless you guys have anything else, I think we'll draw this one to an end.
For coming, you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for coming. If you guys have any more questions, DM Sean personally. No, I'm just joking. Put it in Telegram. And we all, and also put it in the forum too for the next AMA. And we are going to do this more often. I believe bi-weekly. Once we don't know yet, but we are going to do it. Very more often.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember, guys, at the end of this broadcast, once it's done, feel free, share our YouTube, share our Kick. The more word of mouth, the better at this point. And now that we're into the AMAs, it would be appreciated. If you're new here, you're not on our Telegram, pyrax.org, head on over. All of our social join links are in there. We've got Telegram, Discord, Facebook, Twitter. What else am I missing? Instagram. Facebook. I think everything. So Facebook, yep. We're everywhere. So pyrax.org, and under the community tab is where all our social links are. I want to thank everybody for coming today. And I think I can safely say on behalf of the entire PYRAX team, thanks for giving us almost 2 hours of your time. This has been amazing. Thanks for the great questions, and keep these kinds of questions coming, because there were some good ones in there.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Where systems connect, a future of trust we all protect. Three streams forming a perfect design, no separation, only combined. A living system, strong and free, built on structured harmony. Three streams becoming one. Three streams, the work is done. In every block, in every line, the system through all of time. Stream online. Hashing begins. Velocity unlocked. Trust through speed. Every cycle, every line, running through a frame of time. Data moving sharp and clean, faster than it's ever been. Like 3 inside the core. always one. Underground systems online. GPU network engaged. Distributed power activated. In hidden racks and glowing rooms, machines awake in silent bloom. Every card begins to spin where computation flows within. Not one machine, but many hands across the world, across the lands. Each one building piece by piece, a system built on shared release. No center holds the weight alone. Power spread through every node. Every cycle, every spark keeps the network in the dark. Lights on. In the PYRAX chain we build as one. Through every GPU the work is done. Utility flows where systems connect. The future of trust we all protect. In the PYRAX chain the power flows. Through every card the system grows. Every block, every side, built across a global line. From basement rigs to data halls, 1,000 signals rise and call. Not controlled by only few, but powered by the many too. Silent work in coded night, turning heat into pure light. Every hash and every trace helps maintain the network's pace. Distributed, not confined. Every unit redefined. Strength that comes from being wide, not from where control resides. The PYRAX chain we build as one. Through every GPU the work is done. Utility flows where systems connect. A future of trust we all protect. In the PYRAX chain where miners stand. Across the circuits of every land. Every node, every line, working through a shared design. Not one core, not one place, but 1,000 nodes in endless space. Work is shared, work is free, powering decentralized unity. Woo! In the PYRAX chain we are as one. Through every GPU the work is done. Utility flows where systems connect. The future of trust we all protect. From underground to open skies, a global system that never dies. Every machine, every sign, part of one connected design. GPU light fades slow and clean. Still part of something unseen. Underground, but never gone. The network lives and carries on. future written in mathematical proof. Every transaction leaves a trace, secured in time, secured in place. No hidden hand, no veil remains. Consensus echoes through the chains. Through cryptographic walls of light, verification burns so bright. 1,000 systems intertwined, building trust for humankind. From the ledger to the sky, every answer can be verified. What was uncertain now becomes clear. The future finally appears. When truth is sealed, we stand as one. Every block confirmed, every proof is done. Utility flows where systems connect. A future of trust we all protect. When finality reaches every chain, confidence rises again and again. Through every network, every new dawn, the foundation of tomorrow carries on. Zero knowledge guides the way, proving facts without display. Privacy held within the code, while transparency lights the road. Across the world the engines run, millions moving all as one. Protocols evolve and grow, unlocking paths we get to know. Every challenge, every climb, strengthened by design through time. The architecture standing tall, built to support and serve us all. When truth is sealed, we stand as one. Every block confirmed, every proof is done. Utility flows where systems connect. A future of trust we all protect. When finality reaches every chain, confidence rises again and again. Through every is here.